Hey, good morning. Welcome to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. Happy to be with you. Of course, it is a Monday, and it totally started out like a Monday. Let me tell you, I spilled my coffee out in the parking lot. You can imagine how upsetting that was to me. This show looks a little bit different. I will say that to you. And I've got my emotional support pillow here, my coffee pillow that my friend Sandra brought me over the weekend, of course. A lot of people know and have reached out to me. My stepfather passed away over the weekend. And it's moments like this that I thought we would switch up the conversation. And I have a very special guest with me. Trace Hudson is here. And last week, I was actually on a panel at a college, and he came up to me afterward. And I thought it was symbolic, I guess, because my stepfather was 92, Trace is 22. And it kind of felt like the universe was telling me, you know what, look at life from both spectrums, right? So that is what we're doing today. And I just thought this would be a perfect time to talk about life, love, perspective, and maybe a little bit more AI. I know Trace is excited about that. But before we jump in, I want to thank our main sponsor, which of course is the Nerve and Disc Institute, because a big part of your life, no matter your age, it is listening to your body. And of course, when you're going through something emotional or physical, it doesn't matter. You really need to pay attention. And whether you're dealing with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, or even sciatica, chronic pain is awful to live with. And Trace, he'll fill you in a minute, but he is a student athlete, so he knows a little bit about pain as well. But if you've ever been told that pain is something that you just have to deal with, or you have to have surgery, or even just live with pain medication, guess what? You don't have to. You really want to reach out to Dr. Saul Kogan at the Nerve and Disc Institute because he has a completely holistic approach. I've talked to many of his patients. In fact, let's check in with Jerry.
Jerry Weigold is my name. I'm from Farmington, Michigan. Well, I've had chronic pain in my lower back for many years, and I used to call it the angry knot in my right buttocks. And it interfered with sleeping. It interfered with just relaxing, sitting in a chair. So, and it got worse and worse as the years went by. Drugs helped, and opioids in many cases. I've always been a lifelong stretcher, but I found out I couldn't stretch enough to just get rid of it, get rid of the pain. I was told I had some stenosis, and I had some disc conditions. I think one was bulging. And there was a little bit of disc damage in my lumbar region. I tried everything. I had epidurals. I had nerve blocks. I had other pain injections. And none of those worked for more than a couple of weeks. And when you're in this position, you come to the point where you've got to do something. You'll do anything to make your life better. Yeah, I heard about the Nerve and Disc Institute on radio ads for years. And at that point, I was out of options for treatment. So I went there and, you're always skeptical when you try something like this. I saw how much the staff at the Nerve and Disc Institute believed in the treatment. And I got to know the people that work there. They wouldn't work there if they didn't know that it works. But the main treatment was intradisc neutrosis treatments, and it's not painful at all. They put you on a table on your back, and it's a machine that, as I understand it, kind of does very targeted traction, you might say, gently opening the vertebrae, allowing, and the theory is allowing nutrients and fluids to get in there so the disc can heal itself. And my back is very good now. I've also seen some of the other patients there that made tremendous progress. I'm like a new person. I'm really like a new man. I thought I was going to go into older age ungracefully and in pain all the time. I learned that old people aren't ornery or disagreeable by nature. They're probably in pain. And I'm not. I'm living a very full and joyful life. And yeah, I'm like a new person. I would tell people, especially if they've tried everything else like I did, to go see Dr. Kogan at the Nerve and Disc Institute. And
Intradisc neutrosis is a unique treatment that has over a 90% success rate without surgery. They do have 3 locations, one in Grand Blanc, Farmington, the other one in Clinton Township. And here's the best part. If you mention Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen, you'll actually get 50% off your treatment plan. The Nerve and Disc Institute has helped thousands of patients, so you definitely want to reach out to Dr. Saul, and you can find all of the information, and you can also schedule your free consult at nervediscinstitute.com. Well, as I said at the opening, I have been surrounded by a lot of wisdom lately. Of course, my stepdad was 92, and I am sitting here with you, Trace Hudson. You are 22 years old. And what does life look like from your perspective at 22?
Stressful.
Really?
I mean, I like to say stressful, but I mean, you look around you and sometimes you think you got it pretty good, but
Right.
definitely a lot going on. You know, I'm in my final year of college.
Yes.
I'm about to graduate, got a lot of classes and whatnot. But, you know, with everything going on in this world right now, it's hard to kind of stay focused and stay on your line. But, you know, overall happy though, too, as well. So
I love that. And, you know, so we met last week, and it was so interesting because I kept looking at you while I was speaking, and I was like, he looks so familiar. So our paths have crossed.
absolutely.
Right? So our paths have crossed while I was anchoring, and you do a lot of speaking. I mean, you're a college athlete, you do a lot of speaking for the American Cancer Society. So tell me a little bit about your history.
So, you know, I first got into public speaking on a complete whim, actually.
Oh.
My mother, my freshman year of college, was diagnosed with sarcoma, which is it's a terminal cancer, so it's not necessarily something you can really come back from.
Right.
However, I, you know, was sharing my story with my teammates, trying to be open about it so that I had help around me. And my coach actually, like a week later, met with someone from the American Cancer Society, completely on accident in public, and told my story to them. And so they asked if I would be willing to come out and speak, you know, at their beginning events, which were Relay for Life.
Yep.
Some of those, they might have children out there.
I think I've emceed one of those, actually.
We used to run around as many laps as you could to raise money for cancer. So I got the chance to go out there and speak for, you know, these students. And, you know, I feel like it was better for me because usually you have a lot of teachers or adults doing that. So kind of having someone younger able to kind of be funny about it, but also, you know, bring that awareness to them with, you know, I think a little bit more attention on me was really good. And then obviously the public speaking part was really good to build confidence and stuff, but I was just glad I was bringing awareness to something. And then, like you said, I'm a student athlete.
Right.
It's stressful.
Okay, so baseball.
Right.
Right? Okay, so baseball. So tell us about that.
So I played all the sports growing up. I mean, I loved everything. I just loved sports. But it was around my sophomore year of high school where I kind of had that decision. I was like, I really think I could get my college paid for. And that was my number one goal, was get my degree. My mother was, you know, preaching it. She was a college athlete. She played softball at Northwood.
Okay.
And, you know, she's kind
So
of...
it's in your blood?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
She's super cool too,
that.
you know. So I wanted her to watch me play at that stage, her and my father. So I was like, that's really the best option I have for getting school paid for. I get good enough grades, but, you know, nothing to the point where I'm going to get, you know, a full ride or anything like that academically. And so I started working really hard, and I was able to get myself my first college offer beginning of my senior year.
Nice.
And I went all in on baseball.
Okay.
However, you know, everybody knows.
There's always a however, right?
Oh,
It
I
seems
know.
like it.
So COVID,
Oh, yes.
that seemed to get in the way of
Oh, no.
basically everything.
Okay.
It made everything very hard. However, again, I persevered, and I was able to use social media and get myself out there to all these coaches and get myself into college baseball. And I was able to play 4 years, 4 of some of my best years of my life playing baseball and enjoying it, meeting people, traveling all across the United States to play it. It was amazing.
Did you want to go pro?
I did. And I actually gave it a little bit of a go. However, I wasn't necessarily all in, I think. I think I had plenty of talent. I think I was plenty good enough. I wasn't necessarily sure if it was exactly what I wanted to do.
Interesting. So you think that you're kind of
It was something, there was a narrative, it was kind of getting pushed on me because I had the ability to do it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be
But it
really
wasn't
cool.
inside you.
Once I started doing it and I got into it, I realized to a point I wasn't necessarily completely cut out for it, but also I don't think this is what I want to do. I don't think this is what's going to make me happy. And I'm really big on trying to leave an impact in society. Like, I want to leave a footprint before I leave. And I just don't see that being, you know, an avenue that I can go and do that very successfully.
You know, I think that's very courageous, honestly, because so many people get pushed into something that they don't feel passionate about, right? And so years later, you look back and you're like, why did I do that? I didn't want to do that. And now it's the question of, is it too late to do what I really want,
Right.
right? So I give you a lot of credit for that. Okay, so you made the pivot, you're graduating.
Correct.
Okay, you're from where?
Rochester Christian University.
Which is where we met. Okay, and your senior year, so how are you feeling right now? What's your major?
So my major is sports management.
Okay.
I originally wanted to go kind of engineering and be that kind of like,
Boring. No.
right. And when I was transferring out of a junior college called Jackson College, they had this sports management program at Rochester that was really good. And I want to be in the sports world when I get older, definitely like something I want to do where I don't think I can sit still. So when I retire, I would like to coach. I'd like to do something in the sports world. I can't sit still forever.
Okay.
So if I'm not using this degree right away when I graduate, it will definitely come into effect later in my life. And I'll be able to use the knowledge I've gained from it and sort of the credibility of it to help me down the line.
You know, that is super interesting because, I mean, how many times do we hear people, I mean, I majored in theater, right? It's like, so what do you think I did the year after? I waited on tables.
Right, exactly.
So but you already kind of have that pivot in your head.
I have that understanding because the money in that right away isn't always the greatest. And as much as you just want to do what you love, there's definitely a point where you do need to have a certain amount of money to be able to get by and make sure you're stable. So.
Okay. So how did you grow up like this? I mean, it's pretty interesting to me.
I think I was really lucky. I didn't realize it. I was really lucky how great my mom was. Okay. And my dad was great too. But I think I took a lot of it for granted growing up.
I think we all do that.
I didn't really realize her story. I mean, my mother grew up homeless. My mom, she worked so hard, and I didn't know any of this. It's not something she necessarily shared. She didn't rub it in my face, and because she didn't care about her own accolades or anything like that. And she worked hard, got a college scholarship, was making $100,000 30 years ago when 100,000 was a lot. Like she worked very, very hard, and I don't think I necessarily realized that growing up. And so all this stuff that she would discipline me with, or the manner she would teach me, or the drive that she would teach me, I didn't really pick up on it. And it was always there. I didn't pick up on it because I'm like, hi, Mom, you don't understand. You don't know.
Yeah.
And then when I was 16, I actually ended up moving out to take care of my grandma, who also got cancer. The problem is I didn't realize it till I was 18. And then I don't know, it just clicked one day. And I'm like, maybe my mom was right.
You're like, thanks, Mom, right?
No, it's like, oh, I can't really get time back. So I did everything in my power. And then, like I said, 2 years later, about a year and a half later, she was diagnosed. And so it definitely put a lot more things in
perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. So your mom, your grandmother, I know when I met you originally, you speak for the American Cancer Society because your family and your life has been touched by it so much. So what about now?
Right now, I'm lucky to say that my mother has beaten sarcoma twice now in 2 years, and it's beaten is very, it's not in her system. It's not something that goes away. But right now, I think has been the best it's been, the quietest it's been for the past year, or for the past 5 years, 6 years.
Okay.
It's really, really nice. I get to see my mom enjoy herself, reading her books, going golfing. She was doing pickleball when pickleball is the big rage.
Oh, again with this pickleball stuff.
Oh, I know. And then I'm like 3 years ago, she was in chemo, and I was driving her around, and then now she's out doing pickleball. I'm like,
It was amazing.
that's her.
Weren't you with her like last night? Didn't you
I
say you got
was.
like an hour of sleep? Or
And
something?
not
Not even.
Oh gosh, but sometimes you have to go out and just.
Yep. You just got to be there, right? Okay, so you are 22, and there's so much to talk about because in the world, right? But I know that you had watched last week's show, which was all about AI, and you said it is kind of crazy out there. So let's start with that because I think your reaction was hilarious to this. So, okay, so how much do you use AI?
So I think I've been really lucky. I wasn't introduced to it right away as most kids were.
Okay.
But I started to kind of get acquainted with it and learn about it and understand it. And I was one of those people pushing back against it at first. I was kind of like, I don't necessarily, it might take my job,
Right.
And then it all started evolving and all of this happening. My school, actually, they implement it into their teaching. They are trying to prepare us for this real world.
Wow.
And so a lot of schools are so hesitant to use it or allow students to use it in a way that helps them learn.
Right, because all we hear about are students using it to kind of cheat, right?
And so our school said, we can try our best to stop it. But at the end of the day, when you get in the workplace, we're not going to limit our students. We want our students to have every advantage they can in the workplace. So they are implementing that into their teaching, teaching it to themselves and learning how we can all best use this effectively. So it's not like, you just type in what you want and just turn it in, whatever.
Right.
But this teacher says, I want you to use that as research. Obviously back it and everything, but I want you to use it to its fullest extent. And
so they're teaching you how to use it.
correct. They want us to be as successful as possible in the new world and give our generation the best chance. And that's why I love them at my school. We're a smaller school, private school, might not get much recognition, but our teachers care. I mean, my degree specifically, sports management, there might be 2 or 3 professors in there that are actually full-time professors. Most of our professors are real world people working real world jobs with this degree or in this area,
that's
coming
cool.
back to give back and teach 1 or 2 classes. One of them, she was able to do, and she is the CFO of Chief Financial Credit Union.
Right.
And she's the CFO.
So and she's like your professor. Right?
I know, and she's teaching 1 class because she wants to give back and teach in her area of expertise, and that's our whole degree. And that's what gives us such an advantage. I love what they're doing.
So for you, I mean, to know that she's in the real world and not just a professor who says, okay, well, this is what you do, but they don't have any experience. How much do you think that's impacted you?
Oh, tremendous. Like we were able to talk off camera before about networking and how huge it is. Sure, that part of it's amazing, but like the trust, their ability to communicate with students is, I feel, a lot better. They haven't been doing this they don't feel overwhelmed with everything going on.
Or they're not over it.
Right.
Right? Because it's like, oh my God, why am I still teaching?
They're doing this because they want to do it.
Right, exactly.
I think it's all around better. I mean, for me, I'm not going to judge it. When I have professors that do it full time, I'm not exactly going to just, you're a full-time professor? No, thank you.
You have a real job? What's wrong with you? Right.
No, like we have one of our professors, he was a 2017 Athletic Director of the Year in the country.
Wow.
And he is now a full-time professor running our sports management program. So you
are learning from the best, right?
Yeah, right.
Wow, that is amazing.
But so like that's our full-time professor, but you just hear his backstory and he's like, well, not to flex on you guys, but I was pretty good. So I think I'm just, again, I can't speak enough about it, but we have such a unique situation.
That's cool. I had no idea when I was going out there. I mean, I was just going out there for a panel, right, with JoJo and On the Wings of Angels, the nonprofit world, and it was. How many kids were in that class that we were at, do you think?
I think every person in our class. I think every bit of 28 to 30. Okay. And that was just one of our, that's what I love about our class sizes are the perfect amount. There's not too many people, not too little. Just enough to ask questions, in general. And I loved that entire thing. I got to speak with the second panel after as well. And I talked with
Yeah, but you like the first panel better, right?
And they had this one really, really, really cool person on their panel. I can't say her name, but she was.
I bet I know who you're talking about.
She was pretty awesome. Very enthusiastic.
That is awesome. Okay, so AI, you're incorporating that, and when we were talking about last week, we talked about all the weird things going on with dating, and I mentioned that restaurant in New York, the pop-up, and you thought that was kind of crazy.
I thought it was hilarious. I got to see.
Would you ever go to something like that? Do you need to go to something like that?
It's getting dry. No, I'm kidding. I don't think that's for me.
Okay.
However.
Another however.
It hasn't been great in the dating life. We haven't been too lucky. But no, it's crazy what's going on out there. I don't know too many people in my circle personally that are involved with the AI chatbots and AI dating.
Okay. Fair enough.
but I've seen so much of it out there, and it's just absurd. I personally don't understand the connection there, but I also understand there's so many people in my generation. It's so, I don't want to say
It's not
different.
hard for you to talk to people. I mean, you came right up to me after. But do you think the majority of people your age have a hard time interacting, or are they more comfortable?
It's a very fine, it's a very 50-50, I think. There's so many out there that are really willing to talk, but there's such a bad stigma on a lot of people in my generation that a lot of adults avoid it. And then vice versa too. Then there's 50% of my generation where, I have my own opinions, but there's a lot of people that don't talk. And
Why don't they talk though?
because they're so caught up in the social media and the AI and online that they don't have to. They don't have to go out and meet someone, at a restaurant or ask her to go on a date at the mall or
The mall.
oh, the mall was the best.
Love the mall. I had 2 jobs at the mall.
Did you really? My job was walking around. I had a younger sister. I used to take all
Oh, did you?
the
Okay.
time, yeah. But it's so easy to just not go out.
And like detach, right?
Right. And emotionally, physically, it's just so easy. So I can definitely see why these things might be intriguing to some people. For me, no. But for others, I can see it. It doesn't mean I understand it completely, but I can see it.
Right.
But that's also part of the issue. I think if that's the way we keep going in society, the connections are not going to be as meaningful down the line. And I'm sure we'll talk about that more.
So how, okay, so let's talk about that right now.
Yeah.
All right, so how do you date?
I do.
Okay, and how do you meet people?
90% of the person in person.
Oh, okay, 90%.
99. I'd say 90% of the people that I end up going on dates with, or in general meeting up with, it's always in person.
Okay.
I've met a couple people on a couple dating apps. Those are ones that have ended the absolute worst.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me one story. I want to know.
Well, I ended up going on a couple dates with this girl. We went out to the movies, kept it basic, went to a restaurant, and then I ended up, the next one I had her come over. She met my parents. We went to Kensington Park.
Oh, nice.
We went fishing and kind of something relaxing, a picnic. And then the next one, the third one, right? And I think this girl's awesome. This girl's really cool.
Was she your same age?
She was a year younger than me.
Okay.
Like, this girl is really cool. My stepdad says on him, he says, Trace, I don't know about her. I think there's something off. And I'm like, she's amazing. What are you talking about?
She caught a lot of fish.
Ugh. She was out there in the heels deep with the little net trying to catch me minnows. And I'm like, whatever you want to do.
Right.
But I went there. I had dinner with her family. And I tell you what, it was the weirdest experience I've ever had. When I walked in the door, and I don't want to out them completely, when I walk in the door and I shake their hand,
Yeah.
her dad brings her middle finger and starts doing this as I shake. And mind you, this guy's I don't want to give his profession, but he's very,
Right.
masculine man.
Yeah.
So and she told me how scary he is. And then all of a sudden he starts doing that. When I meet him, like, this is a little odd.
Right.
And he wouldn't stop. He kept going. And I'm sitting there laughing, smiling. I'm like, what's going on?
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, I'll do it back. And then he stopped. And then, get this, everything's going okay. They're not very talkative. They're very awkward. It's
Were you having dinner with them, or?
Then we had dinner.
Oh, okay.
Then we had dinner. When we finished, and I'm not kidding you. They stood up one at a time when they finished, and they started singing when they finished. I'm not kidding.
Like a musical?
Whatever they wanted. They were just singing songs as a family. And I don't want to judge people that are happy, but it was very...
She hadn't warned you about this?
No, she told me her family was big sports fans. They love the Lions. I get there. He goes, I don't really like the Lions. I like teams with no dome. What?
Okay.
It was just the most offsetting experience.
Right.
And just very, what is going on? And I'm not kidding about any of this. I ended up taking them out for ice cream, came back.
Did you sing this song after dinner?
No. I stood up and I looked around and I said,
You're like, ice cream anyway?
we went to ice cream. We went and got ice cream after. And when we came back, I had to leave. I went home after. I said, I'm going to go home now. Thank you for having me, whatever.
Right.
I told myself, I feel like I should send a text and kind of apologize. And, maybe
You didn't stop seeing her through text, did you?
No, she texted me right when I got home. This isn't going to work. My parents don't think you're going to fit. And mind you,
Huh.
I don't think your parents should make that decision for you right away. I'm a big believer in family matters.
Right, like their input, right?
Their input does matter. And I want my
Because you
parents
still
to
saw
make
her
that
after your
part.
stepdad told you.
Right, exactly. However, like, to just send that
Yeah.
instead of like, hey, I don't think this is going to work. Instead, it's my parents just said this isn't going to work. So sounds good. I mean,
Thumbs up.
I took a year break from the dating apps after that one, but it was, I'm not kidding you. This felt like one of the greatest, it was amazing. I had so much fun.
Right.
And then third date, I go meet her parents.
And it just,
Oh my God, it's flipped on its head. I didn't know who these people were.
that's,
Again, if you're happy, you're a happy family, I can't judge you for that.
for sure.
But it was just very odd. And I feel like that's just stuff you don't get right away when you meet someone
Right.
in person. And like I said, most of my experiences are in person. And
I'm sorry, I'm still trying to figure out like what song would you have sung if you would.
I don't even remember what they started singing. It's been so long, but
Oh my
I think
gosh.
one of them was a country song, and then another one was a pop song. I'm not kidding. Like it was, Brooke, it was absolutely stunning. I didn't get it. They stood up and they looked at me while I was eating. The food wasn't the best either, but I was respectful enough to finish my bowl.
Pass the salt.
Oh gosh. And so when I stood up, they started singing, and it was, yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So have you been on dates since then?
Yes. of
Okay,
course.
and it's been better.
A lot better.
Okay.
I've been avoiding the dating apps.
Okay.
I went back to the dating apps about 8 to 9 months ago.
Okay. All right.
And me and this one young lady were going really well for a good 5 or 6 months. That one, we really just, again, it's one of those things where
Same age, close to you?
my age.
Okay.
One of those things you would notice if you were sort of around that person more. Most of our talking came online because they lived like an hour and a half away. So we go on a date once every week or so,
Okay.
or every couple weeks.
But mostly texting and just
So you don't notice everything right away.
for
But
sure.
it was nothing against the girl. We didn't click at all. It was just our communication styles started to differ, and she had a lot going on in her life, and I had a lot going on in my life. So when things start going bad, that's when you really see the communication.
For sure.
For me, when things start to go bad, I like to communicate a little more.
Oh, okay. See, I'm the opposite. So when things are bad, I'm like, yeah, we're just
She
not
like
going
to shut down, and that's fine. That's just, it's tough to work around that together, especially with how busy I am and she was.
Right, and the distance.
Right. So it didn't work out, and there's nothing necessarily crazy or bad about that one. But that's just my point is because I'm not able to see that person consistently, I didn't sort of get the nerves to ask her out in person. Those are some things you tend to pick up on a lot sooner rather than 6 months down the line.
So do you
No.
do you want to do you see yourself getting married one day?
Yeah, I mean, I had a goal. I wanted to be married by 26, get to
Really?
30. And now I'm like, can I find a girlfriend? No, I'm only kidding. But I do have plans. I want to get married. I want to have like 2 to 3 kids.
Okay, so what if things don't go by your timeline? How will you
I don't think
handle it?
anything in my life's gone by my timeline
Okay,
at this
right?
point. So I'm ready to go off the rails and figure it out.
You can figure it out.
But it also depends on the partner, right? If they don't want to have that many kids or if they're in it all depends how things play out.
Right, for
But I would like to be married and I would like to have children. How many, the timeline, at that point it's just playing it by ear. But I'm not.
I think you have to find the wife first, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna rush.
Okay.
I'm not gonna rush myself into something, especially with coming from a divorced household, or not necessarily divorced, but a separated household. I just don't want my kids to grow up in that. Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with it all the time.
It's tough though.
It's not exactly the easiest, and I really want to be close with my kids and their mother. I think that's important for me.
Okay, so for a minute, talk about, because I have 14-year-old twins and divorced coming up on 4 years. And I mean, it's been very tough for them. So from the kids' perspective, I mean, what would you want somebody to know, I mean, parents to know that are divorced or are going through a divorce for their kids' sake?
I'd say it comes down to 3 simple things. Once divorces happen, and there's actually numbers to back this, that's when parents become so strong on their kids. They start to try and live through their kids a lot more because they feel so separated from everything that they try to live through their kid.
So what do you mean?
I've had some experience with it, and I've had a lot of friends that have had experiences with it, but parents start to unintentionally push their values of what they wish they did in life onto their kid.
So there are regrets almost.
Yes, and there's a difference between teaching them right and wrong versus, well, I want you to go down this path because I couldn't do it. Right? Like the baseball path that we talked about.
Sure.
I want Phil, and it's stuff like that. And you'd be surprised how often that'll come into play when a divorce happens and the parent seems a little bit more separated. Usually the males feel a lot more obligated to live through their child, where sometimes the mothers can shut down a little bit and maybe get too separated from their child and tend to push back a little.
Right.
I feel like if both sides would do a better job finding that median where the mother can just be there for the child for what they need. I know it sucks because they're going through so much, and it sucks that the mom has to be so strong.
It sucks.
I know, and I didn't realize it as a kid with my mother. And they have to be so strong, and you don't respect it. You don't understand it for a while.
Plus you're mad, right? I mean, I can say that. My kids are mad, and I don't blame them.
But one day, they'll say thank you. I promise. It'll happen. The second thing, the communication between the two parents, regardless of the divorce, can't come down to the children. There's too many times the communication goes through the children, and that can't happen. They can't be a part of that.
So you're talking about like, listen, tell your dad.
Right.
Right.
That, or even shit talking, excuse my language, of the other parent. I think that really is not okay. I think you're just teaching your kids to grow up that it's okay to do that this is an okay thing.
Right.
That just the constant bickering and then speaking through your child and just overall the verbal breakdown after a divorce, I think is one of the hardest things for the child that the parent doesn't realize. It hurts more than anything, the verbal part, because you have to deal with that because you love both.
Right, you love both, so you're pretty much in the middle.
And you are playing the middle guy for the rest of your life. I'm above 18, I still play the middle guy.
Really?
And it's hard. And I've said middle, now that I am an adult though, there's multiple times I told them both straight to their face, I said, this is not gonna happen anymore.
Good for you.
Like, it's about time that
You said you have a younger
grow up.
sister?
Right.
How old is she?
She is 19.
Okay.
She is a diva. She actually attends LSU,
Ooh.
Louisiana State University.
Really? Okay. All right. And how did she do with the divorce?
She's the child of my mother and my stepfather. It happened really young for me, but I've had to deal with it. They've been forever now.
Okay, so let's talk. Okay, so you had a third thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What is it?
So the next hardest thing is overall, like, seeing your child after the divorce. I feel like for me and a lot of my friends, whoever has custody becomes so locked down on like keeping their child away from the other parent. It's like a tug of war game. I've seen cases where that's very joint custody, and there's a lot of good situations out there.
For sure.
But there's also a lot out there where no, your dad's a bad man, or no, your mom's.
You can't see him, you can't see her.
Or every other weekend, that's all you get. And they're fighting in court. They're fighting for child support. They're doing everything they can to get everything out of the other person. And sometimes it can be valid.
Right.
But you are doing more to your child. Sometimes it's just too selfish. And
I don't think kids should know that stuff.
they shouldn't.
Right,
The problem is
it
at
should
the
be
time they do because the parents get them too involved.
Right.
But I know more because I'm older now. But I knew it then too. But the constant fighting and everything was just, what if I wanted to see my dad this weekend? Like, hey, like if I wanted to go see my father this one weekend, right? But it's not his weekend.
Oh.
I'm not going to drive you. He's not picking you up. It's my weekend.
So then you're pretty much held hostage.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be more just please, it's your child. Don't
Have a conversation.
yeah.
It is, from the parent's perspective, I can tell you it is tough, right? When you're angry and you're upset and all that.
And it sucks because, like I said, the parent has to take on that burden to now take care of the child and try and hide it and keep it away from them. I know it's probably so hard, but it's also not the child's fault in any way, shape, or form. And so for the child to deal with any repercussions, in my opinion, is already something that they were born into that they didn't deserve. They didn't make that decision, and that's the hardest part.
Right.
But at the same time, I get it. It's got to be so hard for the parent. I would never understand because I haven't been in that situation. I'm just outside looking in.
Right.
And I respect my mom for how much she did, and I respect my dad for how much he did. But definitely there's certain things that don't involve money, that don't involve, a lot of things that they can be sort of just cleaned up through communication.
In an adult way.
Calm communication, consistent communication, and just overall, they get so strangled. Just give a little freedom there. Trust them to make their own mistakes. Trust them to learn from it. Obviously, to an extent, but it becomes so strangled.
So let me ask you this. What about, so you mentioned you have a stepfather? Okay, so how was that for you?
Very, very unique situation.
Okay.
He's been there for a long time, and he has 2 older sons of his own that I call my stepbrothers, but they're basically my brothers. I love them to death. But he was depressed. He had a lot of mental things going on that he didn't realize. Nobody realized. I didn't realize because growing up, I didn't believe in it. I was like, depression, you're just sad. I didn't get it.
Right.
Until I got it myself. But he wasn't always the best growing up. He had a lot of anger and a lot of unokay ways to take it out. However, it was anything crazy. But he was still there. Like, he still helped out.
Still present?
He was still, yeah. But when I was 16 and a half, when COVID hit, he went into cardiac arrest at work. And he was out for like 15 minutes. And I didn't know any of this. Mind you, I had already moved in with my grandmother, taking care of her. And I didn't learn of it for another 3 months later when I eventually came down to visit them because COVID, I couldn't leave, especially living with my grandmother with cancer.
Right. The bubble, right?
Oh, gosh. When I went down there, he's a totally different person.
Really?
Mind you, like 1 week ago, and it complete changed. 1 week ago, he called me out of the blue. And he goes, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "I'm just doing homework." He's like, "Hey, well, I just wanted to call, check up on you. If you want to just talk or rant or anything." And he does that now. And he's just kind of like, "If you just want to talk," I talked for an hour. I just ranted for an hour about, I'm so stressed with this. He didn't speak. He just listened. That is a total flip on the head of what happened. And I don't know what happened in that cardiac arrest, but he has been a very person I can go to, a rock since that point. And it's been amazing. And it's the testament out there for, step parents out there. Maybe you're going into a family or you've been in one for a little bit and you feel trouble connecting with your child. Part of it is you have to let them come to you, but part of it is give them the opportunity to just speak. You don't have to speak yourself. They don't always need the advice. Sometimes they just want someone safe to speak to. So that would be my biggest tip for any step parent out there. Be the person they can speak to. Don't always be the person that has to speak to them. If you do that, the trust, the bond, it'll build so much quicker. The relationship would be so much stronger. And then obviously giving advice when someone trusts you they'll listen to it a hell of a lot better.
Well, that is amazing. Thank you. So you mentioned something. You said depression, never believed in it. Sad, same thing. So through COVID, and obviously you've had you've had loss in your life. So and the stigma, we say that COVID kind of took away the stigma of mental health. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I kind of agree. I think it helped kind of bring awareness to it. But there's also plenty of people out there that just still didn't care. Because half the kids just got a free ride to just sit at home and just do nothing or get boosted unemployment pay. So maybe, but I don't think completely. I think there's a lot of people out there that still just didn't care. And I still think there is. And I think we've done a really good job over the past couple years. But I think originally if you weren't affected by COVID, there was a lot of people that just didn't care. And that was a problem.
Right. So now in today's world, do you think more people have empathy than they used to or no?
I do. I just think we can do a much better job. I think there's still plenty of more awareness and we can do so much better. but it is definitely better. I think a lot more people are aware and understanding of it. It's real. It's out there. It affects a lot of people.
Right.
And it might even be affecting you and you're just pushing it down because you don't believe it. But there's still plenty more work to do. And the moment you get complacent is the moment you'll fail. So if we get complacent in our attempts to raise awareness to these different things, whether it's cancer, whether it's mental health, whether it's abuse, whether it's, the moment you get complacent or slow down is the moment your progress is just gonna.
Okay, so where do you want to be in 10 years?
I would love to be a steady business owner, something sustainable that I love doing. It's a long road away. It's a long process. I kind of already have a plan in place,
You seem like a planner.
but it's going to be a process. But I would like to be, have my first home and be a business owner and something where I can control a little bit of my future and freedom and ability. And, hopefully starting a family around that time. You never know. We'll see. And if that's the case, having that freedom definitely allows for, the time you can spend with your children and the time you can spend with your relationships.
So will you force your kids, boy or girl, when you have them, to play baseball?
No. I love baseball. And I will force my children to stay in shape.
Okay.
They don't have to play any specific sport, lift, work out, run, however you choose. I think we do have a big problem in America with the kind of food that we were forced to eat. No matter, even if you eat at the grocery store nowadays, it's still not that healthy. Just the food really isn't that healthy. You could not work out, or you could work out and you still gain weight because the food is terrible.
Right.
So I do want my kids, it's sort of like, I would like you to play a sport. If you don't want to play a sport, do something that's...
You don't want to play a sport? Run laps.
Go outside. Go outside.
Right.
Do something to just stay in shape. And I mean, I would love if my kids play sports, but if that's not what they want to do...
You're not going to force it on them.
I'd rather my kids be super smart.
Right.
Be super smart and just super rich. I got no complaints. Don't play baseball because dad played college baseball and talks about how great he used to be. Like, come on, I hate that stuff.
Come on, be in the present, be in the present.
No.
Okay.
It might, I don't. I want them to just be in shape.
Right, okay. All right, so Valentine's Day is Saturday, right? And we originally talked about the show being a Valentine's Day show. That's why I'm wearing my heart sweater. But of course, things change. We have to pivot sometimes. Okay, so I have a question for you. Let's see. So who do you think receives the most gifts for Valentine's Day?
Male or woman? Is that what you're
Just in general, who do you think it is?
in the world?
In the world.
Oh, I know. I know.
All right, tell me who you would give who you're giving the gift to on Valentine's Day.
Probably between Madison Beer or Megan Fox. They are two of my childhood crushes.
Okay, so all right, so you would give a gift to them, but do you know that pets receive more Valentine's gifts than coworkers?
Than my mother?
Yes.
What?
That's,
I feel bad. I should send my mother first base.
Yes,
I failed.
and I know you have a dog, but you didn't mention.
It becomes so like competitive. You're always doing it with your mother. You can't
Right,
forget.
It's just like
Your pets.
yes,
Really?
pets. Okay, so guess how many proposals?
I gotta
we'll
do
have?
better.
I know you got to do better, man. Come on.
Oh, I gotta go buy a heart.
Yes.
I gotta go buy a
See?
present.
So yes. So actually Valentine's Day is the second most card sending holiday of the year. Christmas is first. And 200,000 proposals will happen
Really?
this weekend. And it's on a Saturday, which means that there's going to be a lot of dinner dates.
Do you think that's too cliche, or do you like that?
Which part?
Proposing on Valentine's Day?
Whatever.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
Just give me the ring.
Yeah, just give me the ring, right? Just give me the ring. Tiffany's I prefer, but whatever.
Why wait? If you got it, let's go.
Exactly. Okay, so here's the thing. So this is very interesting. Thank you, Trace, so much for being with me and for coming up to me last week after that panel. Of course, a lot has happened, and it's very interesting because you had a different coffee cup, but Chelsea gave you the orange one, which happened to be my stepfather's favorite color. So there's that. We did a soft launch on social media probably like a month ago, talking about the cups we love, right? And to me, obviously, I have a huge huge coffee cup collection just because it's just my thing. It's been my thing forever almost. And I mean, coffee cups hold routines, they hold memories, they hold moments, right? So this coffee cup, actually, if you can see it, it has Speedy Gonzalez on it.
Aww.
And it is the coffee cup that I gave my stepfather the Christmas before my twins were born. So they were born January 5th. So that is his coffee cup, and it says, "Merry Christmas, Speedy Papa," because he used to zip around with his Post-it notes, business owner, right, type A, Post-it notes everywhere. Totally opposite of me. I'm a type D, C maybe, I don't even know. But yeah, so we are kicking off this, the cups we love, and I will expect you to send me a picture of the cup you love, right? Whether it's a short video or a picture of you with your cup. I just want to hear the story behind it. What?
I'll already have one picked out.
Do you? Okay, awesome. Because it's so important, right? To remember those. And I mean, even just bringing this morning, I was like, you know what? I was crying before I got here. I thought I was going to cry during. So far, I'm okay. I've got my emotional support pillow, right, from my friend Sandra. A couple of people have dropped off bottles of wine for me. Because me and my stepdad, we used to drink Pinot Grigio together. It was kind of our thing.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, right? So yeah, usually I have Pinot Grigio in my coffee cup, but that's a top secret thing. So.
Big event later.
Yes, exactly. So we will not be live next Monday. I will be spending some intentional time with my mom. I am an only child, so I need to be there with her. I will be at the Redford Theater, IMC there. That will be February 21st. Breakfast at Tiffany's, one of my favorite movies. Of course, got to look for my black dress and my big sunglasses and pearls for that. So that is February 21st. My stepdad's services, Thursday and Friday. I do want to say thank you to everyone who has reached out. We have greatly appreciated it. It has been a hard time, but a life well lived, right? Even though we will miss him always. And when I met you, he had not yet passed. So I had actually on that panel had my phone with me. I kept checking it to make sure everything was okay. So I appreciate you coming up and giving us your perspective. It's so important to know what 22-year-olds are thinking these days. So
I wouldn't apply me to everybody, but I'd say you'd be surprised how many out there are really, trying.
Right.
They are trying. It's just, we get overshadowed by the media and a lot of other things sometimes.
All right, be nice about the media now, right?
Oh, I love the media.
All right, Trace Hudson, thank you so much for being here. High five, man. Thanks for your insight. I appreciate it. Good luck to you, and I will expect you to send me that picture of you in your favorite coffee cup, okay?
Oh, I will.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you
All right,
so much.
thanks so much, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Cheers.